Good evening, everyone. With the time being 6:00 p.m. on Tuesday, May 14th, 2024, I will call this meeting of the Webster School Committee to order and ask that we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see some folks in the gallery tonight. Welcome. The first thing I want to mention is that this meeting is being recorded both video and audio and will be posted on the district website. And the next item that I want to bring up is the reorganization of the school committee. That's our first item on the agenda here this evening. So as is customary after any town election, the school committee votes to reorganize. So the positions at hand are the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary. So is there any discussion around these roles, or would we like to throw out nominations? What's the desire of the committee here?
Through the chair,
Yes.
I would like to nominate Kelly Siddiqui for chair of the school committee.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Lori, would you please poll the committee?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. The next item, the next role will be the vice chair. So is there any discussion around vice chair, or if not, I will entertain a nomination.
Chair.
Mr.
Nominate Ms.
Aramopoulos?
Blythe as vice chair.
Second.
There's a motion in 2 seconds. Lori, would you please poll the committee?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes. And the next role at hand is the secretary. I'll entertain nominations for that role.
Through the chair, I nominate Nick Adamopoulos for secretary of the school committee.
I second.
There's a motion and a second. Lori, would you please poll the committee?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes. So just as a summary, I will remain chair, Sheila Blythe will be vice chair, and Mr. Adamopoulos will be secretary. All right. And the next item on the agenda is executive session. So I will entertain a motion to enter into executive session to conduct preparation for negotiations with union personnel. And in this case, it's a memorandum of agreement with the Webster Educators Association. And following the executive session, we will reconvene in open session.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Lori, would you please pull
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes. For those of you that are here, we're very glad that you're here. All right. So we are back from executive session and we have reconvened in open session. And the next item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from the April 23rd, 2024 meeting. Is there any discussion around those minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve them as presented.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Lori, would you please poll the committee?
Yes.
I'm going to abstain.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll abstain also. The motion passes. The next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report. Good evening, Mrs. Perangeli.
All right. Thank you for sharing, Mohammed. Okay. Under personnel update, I have no updates for you tonight, so I'll move right into my instructional leadership update. On May 3rd, the district had a half a day for professional development. I put the professional development grids in your packet for your information. I do want to thank Ms. Deb Rivera and Michelle Budney for their efforts in getting the grids out and putting together the professional development. It's important work that our teachers do throughout the school year, so we appreciate everybody's efforts on this. Next week, which happens to be this week, because I was writing my minutes last week, we have our Chair Focus Monitoring Review this week. We've been working with Michael McDonald, our coordinator, in uploading information. Michael will be on site, although the review is happening all week long. They will be on site this Thursday, the 16th, meeting with staff, looking at files, going through some processes at each school. So we look forward to working with them. Kathy Barris, our Director of Student Support Services, and Ms. Sherry Hare and Patty Mackay have been working diligently on gathering information, sending information. I always approach these reviews as a learning, and it's a great way to fix what's not working well and make sure, that we're always moving forward and reviewing our information. So I look forward to the results of that. Are there any questions about that? Our leadership team is also planning for an Instructional Prioritization Institute. This will be held on site here with our statewide system. There's a lot of acronyms, so I spelled them all out. I'm sure you'll get used to them as we go along. They're called our SSOS partners, our statewide system of support partners. We're going to be meeting here, spending 2 days in this room on May 22nd and 23rd. In the morning, reviewing our data from the current year, looking at our instructional priority, and refining what that will look like for next year. We are starting, as I said, gathering data. We've been looking at it all year and really starting our planning for next school year and what that's going to look like. And we appreciate their support. Our students have been continuing to take MCAS. As you know, springtime is MCAS time. Our grade 8 is taking the civics tests. I think we have our entire grade doing that this year on May 14th and 15th. So we appreciate the middle school. I often feel bad for them because they are 5 through 8. They test in every grade, and it seems like that's what they do for the month of April and May. They do a lot of testing. So a big shout out to them for making it happen. I love the emails when you get it that they're complete and they've had 100% participation. So that's always a good thing because you get points for your participation. So good work. And then moving on to family and community engagement. On April 25th, I hosted our first Grandparents Raising Grandchildren. Unfortunately, we did not have any participation from grandparents. But we did make use of the time. We had Kim Rockwood, who is the director of the organization, and we had some organizations come out. The Central Mass Agency on Aging. They've actually seen a decline in people attending meetings across the state and gathering information, so they're looking for ways to rebuild some of those relationships and support grandparents who are raising grandchildren across the state. So we really spent the hour, Ms. Contos came in, our business manager too, looking at how we can outreach with other agencies, our other community partners, to share information, to get that involvement with our grandparents and making them feel like they're part of our school community and how we can support them. So even though I didn't have the participation from outside, it was great to do the brainstorming, and we're not done yet. We're not going to give up. We're going to keep looking for ways to build this up. And I do have packets. I'm going to be putting them out on the front, but if anybody would like to see a packet, I would be happy to share that. And then on, I don't know, are you? All right, I don't want to steal his thunder. So on May 2nd, I was able to go to the Webster Public Library where our high school art students are showcasing their work. They have some beautiful job. I believe it's called Out of This World, where you can walk through and see the art will be there until May 17th. So if you haven't had an opportunity to go down, I suggest you do. It's in the conference room and it's up on the second floor in some of the cases. So congratulations to our students. They did a great job with that. And do you have any questions yet? Okay, I'll continue on. Under other updates, last night was town meeting night. It was held at Park Ave. There was actually a full crowd there. It started out with about 200 people. We did have our FY '25 budget approved for next year. So I'd like to thank all the administrators, the central office team, the school committee for their support. It was a difficult budget year. Whenever you're making reductions, it's really hard and nobody likes that to happen. And we put a lot of time reviewing, talking, looking at what we need as a district as a whole, and just making difficult decisions. But I think we've got something that we can live with, and that suits the community as a whole, because we're one part of this community. So, you know, working with our partners, our fire department, our police department, our EMS, making sure that we're, you know, sharing the resources and working together as a team to put a budget forward, and that was done. So I appreciate them, and I appreciate everybody for their work. As you know, we also had 2 other articles on the agenda last night. We had one for special ed tuition. We've seen a huge increase this year in our out-of-district tuition. It's happening across the state. We did receive, we had applied for circuit breaker, extraordinary relief. And we are also eligible for circuit breaker reserve. There's a big difference between the two. Extraordinary relief is relief that you get that is in FY '24, and you spend that this year. If you get reserve relief, I think it's really important to note that you're borrowing from next year's money. So it's money that you can get this year to help, but you're borrowing, so it's going to reduce your allotment for next year. So I think we all know that it's never good to borrow ahead out of next year when we're entering into a difficult budget year, where we're seeing increases in tuitions, we're seeing increases in our out-of-district. We already know that since we put our budget in April, that we've already had a couple more students go out of district. So our costs are already in anticipation of next year going up at this point. So those funds will be needed for next year. So we received, so what you had to do in order to receive that money, you had to either opt in or opt out. We opted out as a district to receive the reserve, so we just accepted the extraordinary relief. That money is budgeted through the state of Mass as an FY '24. It's extra money for any costs that are 25% over what you've spent in this year, and we certainly did hit that benchmark. As I said, we started the year with a $3.1 million budgeted in special education tuition, and we are over $4 million. So we have certainly increased that, that benchmark by a lot. And there were many districts actually in Massachusetts who met that benchmark. They usually try and reimburse at 75%. They haven't given us the final number yet, but it definitely was not reimbursed at the 75%. But again, we're thankful that we got something, that $500,000, along with our spending freeze since February. We have been conserving as a district, so we're hopeful that, you know, we feel pretty confident that we'll be in good shape to finish out the school year and then plan for next year. And hopefully things stabilize for us. So what we did last night is we passed over the tuition article, knowing that we can make up that deficit. And then we did ask the town for the transportation. That money is on the town side of things. So that was approved. So there'll be additional funds to help offset the deficits down on the transportation side of things. Are there any questions about town meeting last night? And then I just want to say, I know they're probably going to talk about, Mr. Collins probably talk about Super Team or Mohammed. That was a wonderful night on May 9th. It was a pleasure to be there. And then again, I continue to meet with my mentor. I met with her on Monday, April 29th. It's really nice to have that person that you can bounce ideas off of, strategize, somebody that can give you some guidance who've maybe experienced things that you have. So I appreciate her time and her meeting. And I will probably continue meeting with her right through next year also, because I just find it beneficial to have that colleague that you can talk to sometimes with ideas and for that additional support. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Perangeli. Are there any questions or comments from the committee? Hearing none, the next item on the agenda is the business manager report. With Ms. Contos not available, I assume, Mrs.
It is
Perangeli,
me.
you're
I'm
putting
going
on
back
that old
old
hat.
school here. I'm going back to my olden roots. So Ms. Contos is at the Business Manager Conference. So I will start out with a building committee update. Since our last meeting, there has been, I'll just run through the list. The C-Wing, the existing elevator has been demoed and the layout of the outdoor classroom and grid lines have been completed. They've completed saw cutting and concrete removal in the basement. They've excavated for underground plumbing and have begun the rough plumbing. They are finding the basement pretty wet, so they have stopped on that, and they are coming to building committee, looking at maybe updating some of the drainage. So that's something that's going to be presented to building committee at our next meeting. The first floor, all the abatement has been completed, the saw cutting and selective demo completed, form footings, rebar footings, concrete footings, form foundation, and reb have been installed, and the concrete and rebar inspections were planned for Friday on May 10th, which I believe happened. On the second floor, the abatement has been completed, selective demo and saw cutting removal of concrete is completed. On the roof, they're working, the abatement there has also been completed, and there's demo in process. So they go through, they look for anything damaged, anything that's not in good shape, and they're going to remove and replace. On site work, the curb and sidewalk prep has been completed along the final grading and paving in the central office area. Draining on the northeast side is in progress. It has been a very fluid, active project. Mr. Collins and I sat in a weekly meeting this morning. It's called the OAC meetings, where you meet with the builder, the architects, and the OPMs, and they go through the status, the schedule, any outstanding PCOs or change orders that they're discussing. We're learning a lot about construction. So that's good. We've also have a color selection subcommittee that's been formed, and we are having meetings. We just started doing that. The review process will continue for about another 6 weeks, looking at floors, walls, doors, finishes, and all of that. So that's pretty exciting. We have some participation from some staff at the high school and a couple members of the building committee. So that's fun. We had a fire alarm here on Wednesday, May 8th, so it was a great drill. We were going to do a drill, but we didn't need to, and they did a drill for us, so that was a good thing. This was a result of some of the construction activities. The demo subcontractor cut through a conduit near section C and B on a temporary wall, and that triggered our fire alarm. The team during that discovered that the B-wing and the panel did not align to the original B-wing drawings. So what that means is the fire alarm panel went to start of the auditorium and not to the expansion joints as the drawing indicated. So the electrician had to come in and do some work to reconnect the loop and the fire alarm devices. So now it's working properly and back to normal, and they are keeping us on our toes with stuff like that. As far as maintenance goes, there is nothing going on in the district as far as maintenance, and that's pretty much the business manager.
Thank you, Mrs. Perangeli.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments from the committee regarding either the superintendent report or the business manager report? Hearing none, the next item on the agenda is the principal report. Good evening, Mr. Collins.
Good evening. I would like to ask if we could skip to the student representative report so that we don't repeat, and then we can talk about the next steps with our student representative.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Mohammed, are you okay with going in front of Mr. Collins here? Okay, so we're going to move out of order a bit, and we'll move on to the following item on our agenda, which is an update from our student representative. Good evening, Mohammed.
Good evening, everyone. So I have a little bit of updates. So first, I want to talk about a Boston field trip that happened, and it was hosted by 1-8 Applied Learning, and it was a spring showcase of projects that happened in PBIS. It could be like principles of biomed or anything of manufacturing or anything of any of those classes. And there were a lot of students there. I think there were about like 800 students there. It was a lot of students, and it was held in the New Balance Stadium. And I saw a lot of cool projects there. I had a chance to go. It was really fun. Yeah, it was just a really cool time to see all the projects and all the ideas that the middle schoolers and the high schoolers had. And then I want to talk about prom. So prom is happening this Saturday at Indian Ranch. It's gonna be 6 to 10, and the theme for it, the theme for this year is a night under the clouds. And next, I want to move on to AP tests, and exams that are coming up. AP tests happened the last week. Hopefully, all the students did really well, and it seemed to go really well. And for final exams, they're coming up. With graduation so close, there are final exams happening on the 24th to the 31st, and the schedules came out about them to the students. And then I want to talk about some sport updates, really good sport updates. The girls' varsity softball team won the game yesterday against Southbridge. The score was 23-0. The boys and girls varsity tennis team won against Southbridge as well, and the score was 5-0. Um, the girls' varsity softball team is having a game on Thursday, May 16th. Yeah, May 16th at 4:40 against Millbury Memorial Junior Senior High School. And then the girls' varsity tennis has a game on Thursday, May 16th at 3:30 against North High School. And yeah, those are my updates.
Lots going on, and you're in the home stretch this year, Mohammed.
Right? I know it's the final run.
Yeah, it's getting real, isn't it?
No, it's getting really busy too.
Yeah, I'm sure. Great updates on the sports, too.
Thank you. I know, right? All the sports are doing really well.
They're doing great, yeah. Any questions or comments from the committee for Mohammed? No? Sorry, would you mind to put your mic on? Sorry, that tap was very loud.
So I have the opportunity to attend the showcase with the students and, the high school team, and they did an amazing job. They carry themselves very professionally, and they spoke very well in terms of showing the knowledge and understanding of the projects that they actually built. Not to embarrass you or any of the students, but, they did an amazing job. It was really, really nice to see them. And I think we were all really proud of them. Not just myself, but also their students, their teachers as well.
That's
So,
good to hear.
just wanted to
Thank
say
you.
that.
Yeah, thanks for adding that.
Mhm.
Any other questions or comments? Mohammed, thanks for your updates.
Thank you so much.
Have a great time on Saturday. Be safe.
I will.
All right. And then the next item on the agenda will be our update from the principal of Bartlett High School, Mr. Collins. Good evening.
Good evening again. Thank you all so much. I feel like it's a tap dance this evening, and I'll guide into that statement by saying to Mohammed, he lifted up all of the wonderful accolades with our sports teams, which is why I'm tap dancing, because many of the young people that I brought tonight have on the agenda to bring to you are out on the field or the track tonight. So all that to be said, I'm going to go slow because I got a couple messages that some are on the way. We'll see. But we're going to start off with who we have because I wanted to be able to end our year with you getting to hear from our wonderful young people. Oh, this way. So first and foremost, I want to start off tonight talking about the Hobie. I left you a packet in front of you, and most of you have probably heard of this. This is the Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Summit. These young scholars each year are sophomores, and over their summer into junior year, Once selected, they are taken to a leadership conference where they discuss things such as volunteerism, integrity, excellence, diversity, and community partnership. The work is grounded there, and these young Webster leaders come back to our schoolhouse and help us lead, help us to do the work. They are involved in sports. They are involved in the PLTW field trips and the internship processes. They are in the classrooms. They are on the courts, and they are sometimes in panel discussions, and they are on walkthroughs. And it's really nice to be able to lift them up. I did bring with me tonight one of our recipients of the 2023 Hobie Scholarship, Miss Winter Katie, who is going to tell you a little bit about herself, and I would like her to talk to you a little bit about what it is like to be a Hobie Scholar.
Hi guys. So I wrote a little bit about the seminar, and so I'm just going to read off of that and then add in some things maybe as I go. Good evening, Bartlett School Committee, and thank you, Mr. Collins, for asking me to speak today. My name is Winter Katie. I'm a junior this year at Bartlett, and I'm really excited to share my experience from the Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Seminar, also known as Hobie. To me, Hobie was more than just a seminar, but the beginning of a journey to a better and more mindful version of myself. Over the course of the 3-day seminar, I was able to engage in discussions with many successful Hobie alumni, including Dr. Namita and Jack Fleming, the CEO of the Boston Athletic Association. It was a privilege for me to learn from inspiring speakers who shared their stories with us. One of the most impactful parts of Hobie for me was the emphasis on collaboration and teamwork, and the fact that no matter who you were, what your background was, or what your life outside of Hobie looked like, there was something for everyone there and something everyone could take away from the experience. The different group exercises and challenges showed me the importance of communication in our community and the fact that you have to trust each other when working in group settings, when working towards a goal. The seminar provided me with invaluable skills that I implement every day in school, work, my home life, and everything in between. By the end of the 3-day seminar, I found myself instilled with a deeper sense of responsibility that has pushed me to strive for the best and always shoot for the stars. Hobie did a wonderful job of showing how serving your community and completing acts of kindness can be so powerful. Since the seminar, I have been inspired to continue seeking opportunities to give back and make a positive difference in our community and the lives of everyone in Webster. I'm confident that everything I have learned at Hobie and the wonderful connections I made will forever guide me and follow me as a leader. Ever since I have been on an incredible journey of growth and empowerment. In conclusion, I am so grateful for the opportunity that I had there, and I hope that many other Bartlett students can have the impact that I did there.
Nice job. Thank you for sharing that and sharing a little bit of yourself and your journey as well.
And one of our 2024 Hobie Scholars is Mr. Luigi Villegas, and he's just going to talk to you a little bit about himself, why he applied for this opportunity, and the emotion of, I'm sure, his peer was probably like, wow, what a great opportunity. So take it away, Luigi.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Bartlett School Committee, and I would like to be honored from Mr. Collins for having this opportunity to speak to you about why I applied for this role. I will be reading you a couple points why I decided to apply for this, one of which would be to improve my leadership skills as not just an individual, but as well as my peers around me, and bring what I learned from Hobie to not just Bartlett High School, but to Webster as a town. Another reason would be I'm ready to expand my communication skills with others and share my ideas with not just, I'm sure, people that are my age, but relative Hobie alumni and leaders, and I'm sure I'll meet a lot of new people there that will share my ambitions and passions as a person. Another one would be to take what I would learn as a leader and apply it to what's going on currently in Bartlett High School, especially coming off of, I was the student president for my age last year, did not apply for a role this year, but would be applying this year, to hopefully make some changes in Bartlett as a high school and my grade because of the current situations we are in. that's all I got. I'm sorry. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for being here and for representing Webster so well. Nice job.
Thank you.
In addition to Luigi, we will have two young ladies who are in the last relay at the Uxbridge track meet right now. And they are Thais Tapia and Naomi Orlean. So we have three scholars that will go and represent, and hopefully this time next year, they will speak and introduce our new folks next year, because this is definitely a partnership that I, as the principal, am proud of, and an opportunity that our counselors get involved in the scholarship committee. And it's a really great opportunity for us to shower them with that love of the scholarship to send them. And this is something, as you heard from both of them, that's really exciting. So I just want to say thank you so much to Winter and Luigi. So you have heard us talk a lot about Bartlett internships in our first year and what it was like getting it off the ground. We had one student that was successful last year, and it was kind of the experimental child, if you will, like in the family, right? That first oldest child. And she went out and she blazed the path for us and connections with Miss Bigelow. Unfortunately, Miss Bigelow is not able to be with us this week as she's dealing with a family matter, and she sends all of her love, one, to all of the kids, but all of her love to the internship program. And it has been a work of art because of her commitment and her dedication. So I publicly want to be able to say that and lift her up. And I know the kids are shaking their heads because that work is hardcore. And I couldn't be more proud of the leader that she is at Bartlett High School. She had wonderful things set up for this evening, and I am by no means able to step into her shoes, or her boots, as she would probably so lovingly like me to say. But tonight I brought with us the success of internships, and there are a lot of them talking about PLTW and Project Lead the Way. And our first student presenter tonight is going to be talking to you about his opportunity in internships is your current student rep, Muhammad Aslam, who's going to talk to you a little bit about his work with internships.
Yeah, so my internships were in Choice 1 Temps, and I did it for marketing. And I'm just going to say that it was just a really nice experience and a really great way to get experience in a job that is like what you want to do in the future. And it's really fun to come up with all the ideas and to get like feedback from the actual people that work there, and like tell me what's wrong with what I did, and what's good and what I can continue with. And it just helps like the students really learn, and like it just like puts like a seed in you, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just a really wonderful experience, and I loved it. Yeah.
Very nice. Our next internship is Mr. Caleb Mercure.
Hello, everybody. I'm here to talk about my internship. I haven't gotten the opportunity to do an in-person one yet, but next year I'll be having the privilege of doing a internship in person, working for IT, and it's going to be, hoping it's very fun, but I've done online, and it was very glad. I've met wonderful people online and made wonderful connections with the people all around the state. I've met people, I think, Oxford. That's the only place I can think comes to mind. I couldn't fully remember. It was pleasant. We got everything done. We had great communications, and overall, I have built very good social skills and problem thinking on the dot, and learned how to overall just be a good teammate and working with everybody.
It's great to hear. And it sounds like even if you weren't able to be in person, maybe it opened up an opportunity to be able to interact with people that might have been further away.
Yeah, it granted me a very good opportunity to meet people. I can't remember this wonderful lady, but I remember her name, Nicole. She was a wonderful mentor for my team and stuff, and was a good help to bounce off ideas and try to lead us in the right direction.
Great. And were you interning for a company, Caleb?
We weren't interning for a company. We were given a idea that our mentor had, which was a van life game. So
Oh,
we
okay.
started the base of that, and we built it up. And after our final presentation, when we presented in front of everybody, as I know of, she took our building foundations and has been slowly building off on what we left behind for.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations. Thanks for sharing your experience.
Wonderful to be here.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Caleb. And our last internship presenter is Mr. Dylan Pullen.
There we go. I guess I'll start with stating that I've been a part of 2 internships throughout the school, I guess, career. My first one took place last year, near the end of the year. That was a 10-week, 100-hour internship with Practera. Me and my group of 7 other kids from across the states worked with Practera on developing their new AI, which was an interesting experience. It allowed me to learn social skills, other like important business things, and more importantly to me is how AI works and how all of that just works overall, I guess. And then my second internship is happening this year in person. I'm working with Gentex Optics. I specifically work with the people. I go on the floor, go around the machines, and update their lockout tagout procedures. And for, if you don't know what that is, the lockout tagout procedures allow allow the people doing maintenance on the machines to do it safely, how to properly turn off the machine. So that might be a lot to put on a beginner, but they have supported me the whole way and every step of it. And that also, like the first one, helps build relations. I might do it throughout the summer. And yeah.
That sounds like a great experience. Did you get trained in OSHA to be able to do that too?
I was trained in OSHA last year, which
Wow,
allowed me
great.
to do
Prepared you for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Very good. All right, great. Well, thank you for sharing your experience and for making time for us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Dylan is also going to talk to us about my next item tonight.
Don't go anywhere, Dylan. We need you.
Right, because the other one is at the softball game. So Dylan will be talking tonight about the senior scoop as well, which I presented as one of our PLTW initiatives as well.
The senior scoop, I feel overall was a success. I liked the having the ability to go around to different jobs or job what are they?
Companies,
People
right?
that hire, you know. And it was good to talk to them, get to know the companies, what they're about, find what I felt was a good fit for me. And they had like these little 15-minute things. We did it for half an hour, so we went to 2 little like rooms where they kind of introduced like ideas, so things like creative thinking, data analysis, other little things like that. Yeah, I think it was an overall success. I enjoyed it. I think a lot of the seniors that went with me and everyone else there enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing about that. So actually, I had representatives from the company that I work at that were at the Senior Scoop, and they were impressed with the students that they spoke with. They were representing the health and human services sector. And it's a great experience, I think, for students because as you get older, whether it be in college or even beyond, you likely will be a job seeker at some point in your life.
Yeah.
So it's a good opportunity to practice that and get to know some recruiters and have those conversations. And so, great. Thanks for telling us about that too. Any questions or comments from anyone about that?
Through the chair,
Ms. Millett?
I just wanted to comment about how all of these are such great opportunities for our students to find out and explore what your interests are and get some background and have an idea of where you might want to go. These are fabulous opportunities.
Yeah.
And it's thank you especially to Mrs. Bigelow. She does a fabulous job.
Yes, it's definitely been the turn of the tide for our young people to be able to get their name and their faces out there, the connection to soft skills, and the first time having a conversation about what their skills might be, and then being able to speak about who they are and what they want in life. And so I'm very proud of all of them that could come tonight, and I thank you all for allowing them to be here. And I want to say publicly to those students that even didn't get to come tonight, we appreciate all of your hard work as you represent yourself, and that's the goal of Bartlett High School, is to promote you. So we appreciate your best foot forward. As Ms. Rivera said, it's so nice to watch them out at these events because they are amazing young people. So I say publicly thank you to all of them.
Yeah. Thank you, Mrs. Prangelli, Mr. Collins. I couldn't agree more with both of your comments. You all represent Webster really well, and you make us proud every day. So I'm thankful that you've had these opportunities, and I appreciate you coming out and sharing them with us. These are open meetings, and that, obviously means anybody can come in and sit and observe a meeting, but the more we have our principals inviting our students in to be on the agenda and be able to contribute about the great things that are going on, the better. I always say our buildings would just be buildings if it weren't for all of you, the students that are in there learning every day. So you're the reason why we volunteer to do this work too. So thank you.
And 2 items left, and Mohammed did speak a lot about the PLTW Showcase, the Applied Learning Spring Showcase, and as well as Curriculum Director Rivera. Let me just say that the honors that our kids got there and they present just speaks to what everyone said here. So I just want to lift that up again because they are a wonderful group of people. Yet again, an opportunity to plug their greatness. And lastly, speaking of Mohammed, I want to publicly say to you, thank you. I want to say congratulations for getting over the public speaking things and the fears and coming right into this and taking over a role at the school committee as the student representative for Webster Public Schools. I couldn't be more happy for your journey ahead. And I think I speak for everyone at Bartlett High School that says thank you for being such a kind and wonderful young human being. And I just want to give you an opportunity if you have anything that you would like to say to the school committee or to anyone listening tonight.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start off with saying thank you so much. It's been a really great opportunity to represent Bartlett High School this last year. I'm really grateful for that and all the changes that were happening. It can be hard to talk about everything. I know that, and I know the next person is gonna do a really great job on doing that too. And yeah, thank you so much, and thank you.
And with that, our next 2024-2025 Webster Public Schools School Committee Student Representative is Miss Hope Cooper. She will be joining us officially at our next meeting, and she's super excited. And I want Hope to tell you a little bit about herself.
Hi. I thank you for your patience because I know I was a little late, but I thank you very much for being patient. My name is Hope Cooper, and I'm a junior at Bartlett currently. I've lived in Webster my whole life. I've always been in the Webster School District. I went to Sutton High School briefly, very briefly. I was there for like 3 months, and then I returned back to Bartlett because I missed my friends and I missed the community. I think being there really helped me because I got to see how a different school is run, and I realized that I prefer our community very much. I have an older brother who also graduated from Bartlett. His name is Michael Cooper. He didn't leave as positive of a footprint in the Webster community, but he left a great one by the time he graduated. I went to Webster Middle School, and I was part of the student council while I was there. I was also part of the National Honor Society while I was there. I am now a part of Bartlett's student council, and I have been since my freshman year, and I am also now part of the National Honor Society. I'm lucky to be a part of the Pathways, the PLTW at Bartlett. I'm in the Health Sciences program, and I'm also a part of DECA. I use that opportunity to kind of step out of my comfort zone because business is not necessarily what I want to go into, but I felt that having that opportunity really gave me a chance to step out of what I wanted to do and make sure that's really what I was interested in. For extracurriculars, I'm a part of the yearbook club and varsity softball. And my aspirations are to go to college after high school and study nursing and get my master's degree. I'm very interested in topics. I'm someone who is very interested in topics to make change, and being granted this position really means so much to me as I know I have the chance to do so, and I have a chance to be the voice for our community, for Bartlett High School, and I thank you so much for the honor.
Thank you, Hope, and welcome.
Welcome, Hope. Pleasure to meet you. I saw you at Super Team. What was it, last week, I think?
Yes.
Nice to see you again, and really excited to get to know you better. Mohammed, you've been great as a student representative. You have some big shoes to fill, Hope, because Mohammed's done a great job too. I know you're up for it, but yeah, we're not letting you go that easy, Mohammed. You have another meeting. I don't know, Mr. Collins, you can't get him out of here that fast. You better not have plans 2 Tuesdays from now. We'll find something, don't worry. But you've done an amazing job of, letting us know what's going on at Bartlett. Your positive attitude and your kindness is something that has shown through each meeting. So you've been a highlight of our meetings, and I appreciate all the time that you've spent here. And I can't wait, Hope, for you to join us and do the same.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Mr. Collins, does that conclude your report?
It does, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for your updates, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for bringing all of these amazing students here tonight. You truly, I said it earlier, you truly the reason why we volunteer our time 2 Tuesdays a month to be here. So thank you for telling us about what you've been working on. We're going to take things a little bit out of order, and we're going to move on to the last item under new business. It's item K, and it's the discussion and approval of a new math curriculum for grades K through 8. It's called Eureka Math Squared. Good evening, Ms. Rivera.
Good evening. Thank you for the introduction in there. So today I'm going to be presenting not only the Eureka, which is the chosen curriculum that we want to bring forward to the school committee for approval, but also to provide a quicker review of our curriculum review process that we are following through. It's actually a new process that the Department of Education has been implementing across the districts all throughout Massachusetts. And this review process ensures that we are choosing curriculum that it is high quality, that has great reports, not only coming from the Department of Education, but also from teachers and other sources as well. So, and basically that's what the Implement Mass process is for the curriculum review. And of course, we want to make sure that the curriculum not only has high rates and it is a high quality curriculum, but that it also supports our priorities as a district and the specific needs of our students. So this is basically the pathway that we actually follow through in order to go through the Implement Mass process, where we took the time to review the curriculum, investigate, and then select two different choices for the pilot program, and then we piloted those two programs. We review ed reports, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and then eventually we had feedback from many different people who were involved as part of the review process. And now we're in the May or learn, and then also the launching and also implementation phase, which is coming up, if it's approved, of course. Next slide. So basically, during the first phase, we went through the process of learn and prepare. This is when we looked through the current curriculum for math. We did a lot of research regarding, the two options or all the different options for K through 6. And this is the part where the team decided to select a council that included all members of the community who would either be implementing the curriculum or receiving the curriculum or supervising the curriculum at any given time. We follow the program review process rubric, and this is all through the Department of Education recommendations. And then, as I mentioned before, we had the two pilot programs, which is the Eureka Math Squared and also Illustrative Math, which began in the last 2 months. Okay, next slide. This is basically just some of the data or data that we looked at through the ed reports in the Department of Education for each one of the programs that we had selected. Both programs were highly recommended, and they were both rated as high quality instructional materials. Next slide. And this is the survey that we completed as part of this process with our teachers and all staff that were involved in piloting both Eureka and Illustrative and using all that data, and along with the ed reports. And the committee met, discussed, and decided on Eureka as the next curriculum that they wanted to adopt. Next slide. So basically, this is where we are right now. We're in the process of planning, ensuring that the curriculum is approved, and then going through the process of launching and ensuring that we have all the resources that we need. And then the next slide. Then implementation would be taking place in August. Depending on how things go and if it is approved. And again, we have been in contact with the company, and and this is all pending. And I don't know if anybody has any questions, but this was a pretty thorough process. It's a little bit different of what has been in the past, where now we have to pause and ensure that we follow all the steps per Implement Mass in the Department of Education. Does anybody have any questions, comments?
It sounds like there were two programs that were piloted.
Yes. Yep.
And you're
Eureka
bringing, sorry, go ahead.
Illustrative, yes.
Yep. And you're bringing to us the one that,
That we decided at the end, which is the Eureka Math Square.
yeah, great. Okay.
Just so you know, this is one, as we look at our policies, we're looking at our school committee policies. The new school committee policy, which we don't have in place yet, says the superintendent can approve new curriculum. But in reviewing our old school committee policy, which is still active because we haven't done the new one, it says that new curriculum should come before the school committee for approval. So that's why it's here tonight for approval.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Are there any questions or comments from the committee for Ms. Rivera or Mrs. Brangeli?
Sorry, through the chairs. Yes, I have a question. At this level, the K to 6, there's some curriculums that come with a intervention program also, based on, you know, the whether they do a diagnostics to see too, because it's like the iReady. That curriculum has a intervention program. Does this Eureka Squared have an intervention program also?
It does. It has the premium assessments that are included as part of the program, and the assessment would be taking place or taking the place of iReady.
Okay. All right. So so it's going to be built.
Yes.
In. You're going to have the teachers are going to get real time
Yeah,
feedback on where the students are based on the standards. Yeah.
absolutely. Yes, it is part of the program. It's already built in.
Great.
It was separate, but we ensure that we included it as
I've
part
been
of our
in districts
package.
where they only bought the books
Yes.
and they didn't buy the online. So I was just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure, and it was that that was part of the package. Great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for your question, Ms. Gregoria.
Mhm.
Any other questions or comments? Ms. Millett?
Through the chair,
Yes, Ms. Millett?
was there any student input?
My understanding was that the survey was completed by all members of the community, but also based on the feedback from students as well. Yes.
Ms. Millett, I can tell you that my son participated in this pilot program. He's a fourth grader. He was lucky enough to have Eureka Math Squared, and I remember him
Oh,
saying
yes,
something about, oh, the other kids in this other classroom have this other math program, but I don't think it's as good as the one that we're doing. So for whatever that's worth, it's
Yeah.
got Ryan's endorsement, so.
Yeah, and I do have to say that, both, the principal and assistant principal, they spearheaded this project, and they did a wonderful job of not only facilitating and going through the process with the staff, but also with the students and also modeling some of the units and lessons as well. So just want to make sure
Yeah, thank you for adding
that
that.
I mentioned that, yes.
There was a lot of involvement, I think,
Yes.
right? Mrs. Pringler, do you want to talk a little bit about, because I remember hearing about observations and things that occurred, right?
So, this is where, like Deb said, Miss O,
Yeah.
modeled some of the lessons, and they had teachers modeling what the lesson would look like in the classroom. So they pulled in maybe all the grade 1 teachers in a class. She taught the students the lesson. They went through, they timed it, they kept on pace to see the engagement of the kids, what it would look like, how they would teach certain things, and they did that with both models that they were trying. It was pretty great to see them in action, actually, and see the teachers with the books, holding the plans, trying to gauge where they were going, and comparing the two lessons as they were going. So they did a really nice job with the new model, following the Implement MA, which is a new process. It's really comprehensive, and I think it's going to really meet the needs of Webster.
Great, well, thank you for that.
And I do have to add that if you look at the survey feedback from the implementation of both programs during the pilot, Eureka scored, there's not one percentage where people did not recommend it. It was either highly recommended or strongly recommended, which was 82%, and then the other 17.6% was recommended. So we didn't have anyone who felt that, the program did not meet the needs of our students. So, which was pretty impressive. We didn't expect that, so.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yes.
Through the chair,
Ms. Millett,
I thought of another question.
please, go ahead.
Since this is the program you want to choose, will there be any kind of meeting, instruction, introduction for parents?
Oh,
about
that's a
the new
good,
program?
yes, yes. I know that the team at the school have not had that conversation because we're waiting for approval, and then we're going to be creating a plan, not only for the implementation, which is the last phase, but I think you bring up a great point, and I think it would be really important that parents also have a better understanding of the math program and how they can support, their child as well. Because I think that, when we're changing curriculums, things are very different, even from when I was back in school, the way they taught math, and science, it was completely different. And now we have more student-centered curriculum that is popular and necessary at this point. So we do have to, I think that would be really important to provide that information and that knowledge to parents and how they can better support, their child at home as well.
I would hope
Yes.
that this math program
Mhm.
has something that
Mhm.
parents can go to for
Mhm.
questions
Mhm.
or some kind of
Yeah.
assistance, since
Yeah.
it's new.
Thank you, Ms. Millett.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rivera. Yeah,
Yep.
agreed.
Nice suggestion.
All right, if there is no further discussion, I will entertain a motion to approve the new grade level K through 6 math curriculum, Eureka Math Squared.
So moved.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Lori, would you please poll the committee?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Rivera, to the team at Park Ave, not only the administrators, but the teachers and the students and everybody that participated in that process. Have a wonderful night. Happy birthday to your son. All right, good night. All right, I think we're going to be moving back into our agenda in order for the most part. So the next item on the agenda, under old business, is a monthly report on fundraising applications. As a reminder, it is the role of the school committee to review fundraising applications, but we don't approve them. Those are done at the building level.
There are none.
Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is the second reading of the policy AD, the mission statement. Anything there, Mrs. Brinkley?
Nope, as again, policy 8D, we did not have in our policy manual, so this is the update.
Second time we're bringing it to the committee so that we can be sure that any necessary feedback and things is provided. The next item on the agenda is another second reading. It's policy ADC, tobacco products on school premises being prohibited.
Again, this was, this policy was original to our manual in 2003, so it has been updated into 2022. So we'll be adding the new one to our policy.
Okay. Thank you. And then the next item on the agenda is policy AE, commitment to accomplishment. It's the second reading of that policy as well.
Yep, and we did not have this in our current policy manual. This will be, it was updated by MASC in 2022 and will be added to our policy manual.
Great, thank you. The next item on the agenda under new business is the approval of an increase in speech pathologist position from 0.8 FTE to a full-time FTE.
Yes, as you know, we have a retiree, a retirement in our speech pathologist. She has been a 0.8, so 4 days a week. She was at our highest step. She was here for many years. We are looking to fill that with a 1.0, so it shouldn't cost the district anything. We believe we can hire somebody and absorb that 0.2 within the salary. So no additional funds needed, just moving that position from a 0.8 to a 1.0 to help service our needs, as you know, with our special education, increasing the service needs, the special education, the speech needs increasing. We would like that additional time.
All right, that sounds reasonable. Any questions or comments from the committee about this? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the increase in the speech pathologist position from 0.8 to 1.0 FTE.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Lori, would you please poll the committee?
Member Adamopoulos?
Yes.
Member Scrivlia?
Yes.
Member Blight?
Yes.
Member Millet? Yes. Chair Smith?
Yes, motion passes. The next item on the agenda is the approval of updates to the Bartlett High School Student Handbook. Mr. Collins, is that you tonight?
I can do it.
Oh, Mrs. Perangeli? Okay.
Okay, I got it. I got it. As you know, we've been making some updates. We had some recommendations based on our tier focus monitoring review. Some of the language, just additions. You'll see them here at the high school and the same at the middle school. We presented these updates last meeting also for Park Avenue. So if you're looking on, in your packet, you should have a copy. Anything that's highlighted in red is added. These were at their recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments about the updates to the Bartlett High School Student Handbook? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve them as presented.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Lori, would you please poll the committee?
Member Adamopoulos?
Yes.
Member Scrivlia?
Yes.
Member Blight?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's okay. Yes. Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is the approval of updates to the Webster Middle School Student Handbook.
Again, you have in your packets a summary of the changes that were made based on the recommendation of our tier focus monitoring. So approving that tonight will put us in compliance.
Thank you. Any questions or comments about the updates? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the updates to the Webster Middle School Student Handbook.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Lori, would you please poll the committee?
Member Adamopoulos?
Yes.
Member Scrivlia?
Yes.
Member Blight?
Yes.
Member Millet? Yes.
Yes, motion passes. The next item on the agenda is the designation of the email record keeper. As is customary, anytime there's an election, we move around roles, or we, reassign roles, I should say. We began with the reorganization of the committee itself, because that's necessary for the meeting to function properly. And then beyond that, historically, Mrs. Marazzo, you have been our email record keeper. Would we be looking to keep that, or we will be looking to make a change to that considering your upcoming retirement?
The 24-25 school year.
Okay. So I will go ahead, Mrs. Perangeli. No, go for it.
Yeah, because we have until June 30th, you can make a motion to have Ms. Marazzo do it through June 30th, and then as of July 1st, it'll be Ms.
Okay. Questions or clarification needed from the committee? So with that being said, thank you for that. I will entertain a motion to continue Ms. Marazzo as our email record keeper through the end of this school year until June 30th, and to designate Ms. Moniz as our email record keeper beginning on July 1st.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Lori, would you please poll the committee?
Member Adamopoulos?
Yes.
Member Scrivlia?
Yes.
Member Blight?
Yes.
Member Millet? Yes. Chair Smith?
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you both. And the next item on the agenda is the designation of the legislative representative. This role is a role that assists the school committee to stay abreast of any changes in the legal landscape as it relates to the management of schools. Mr. Adamopoulos has held that role. I think you've held that role as long as you've been on the committee, haven't you, Mr. Adamopoulos?
That's true.
And a wonderful job you do. I will entertain any nomination for the role of legislative representative.
Through the chair,
Ms. Blythe?
I would like to continue, I would like to nominate the continuance of Nick Adamopoulos to still hold that role.
Okay.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Lori, would you please poll the committee?
Member Adamopoulos?
Yes.
Member Scrivlia?
Yes.
Member Blight?
Yes.
Member Millet? Yes. Chair Smith?
Yes, motion passes. Thank you to all of you that take on roles above and beyond the normal call of duty here. It's much appreciated to keep things functioning. The next item on the agenda under new business is to appoint a school committee member as payroll designee. Ms. Millett, is that you right now?
It's me,
Oh,
right?
it's you, Ms. Blythe.
No, I'm Warren's.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
So, through the chair,
Ms. Blythe?
I would like to nominate Linda Millett for the school committee member as payroll designee.
There's a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, Lori, would you please poll the committee?
Member Moffett? Yes. Member Scrivner?
Yes.
Member Blythe?
Yes.
Member Millet? Yes. And Chair Stevens?
Yes, motion passes. The next item on the agenda is the appointment of a school committee member as backup payroll designee.
I'll be going through the chair.
Ms. Blythe?
I would like to nominate Chair Siddiqui for this role as backup payroll designee.
There's a motion and a second. Lori, would you please poll the committee?
Member Moffett?
Yes.
Member Scrivner?
Yes.
Member Blythe?
Yes.
Member Millet? Yes. Chair Stevens?
Yes. The next item on the agenda is the appointment of a school committee member as warrant designee.
Through the chair,
Ms. Blythe?
I would like to nominate Ms. Millett as the warrant designee.
There's a motion and a second. Lori, would you please poll the committee?
Member Moffett?
Yes.
Member Scrivner?
Yes.
Member Blythe?
Yes.
Member Millet? Member Millet?
Yes.
Chair Stevens?
Yes, motion passes. The next item on the agenda is the appointment of a school committee member as backup warrant designee.
Through the chair, I would like to nominate Chair Siddiqui as the backup warrant designee.
There's a motion and a second. Laura, would you please poll the committee?
Member Moffett?
Yes.
Member Scrivner?
Yes.
Member Blythe?
Yes.
Member Millet?
Yes.
Chair Stevens?
Yes, motion passes. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the memorandum of agreement between the Webster School Committee and the Webster Educators Association. I'll entertain a motion to approve that. Oh, did you want to talk about that, or?
Yeah, just quickly, briefly.
Good evening again.
Good evening.
This is for a continuation in year 2 of our new block schedule for students at Bartlett High School to remain on a 4-block day, with students receiving 4 blocks a day at 85 minutes per block.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Is there any questions or comments from the committee about this? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve this memorandum of agreement with the Webster Educators Association.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Lori, would you please poll the committee?
Member Moffett?
Yes.
Member Scrivner?
Yes.
Member Blythe?
Yes.
Member Millet?
Yes.
Chair Stevens?
Yes, motion passes. And the next item on the agenda is a review, transfer, signing of warrants, bills, payroll, and vouchers. Under there is a transfer request in the amount of $14,322.89 from the Bartlett High School Student Activity Savings Account to the checking account. Is there any discussion around that? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve that transfer.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Lori, would you please poll the committee?
Member Moffett?
Yes.
Member Scrivner?
Yes.
Member Blythe?
Yes.
Member Millet?
Yes.
Yes, motion passes.
I haven't. This is very similar. When you read a lot about it, it's very similar.
Yeah, it sounded similar.
Yep, yep. It is at Bentley. Bentley, yep.
Every year.
No, it's been at Bentley the last, according to my counselor, last year, I know for sure this year. She said the last few years. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you can tell it definitely the value add for them to talk about. I wish you could have heard from the others. It's a busy night on the field.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Lori, would you please pull the committee?
Member Annapolis?
Yes.
Member Scriglia?
Yes.
Member Blythe?
Yes.
Member Lutz?
Yeah.
Yes, meeting adjourned. Good night, everyone.